Hello, loyal fans. It's been a crazy year. This is about the end of it, December 30th. And I thought I'd just post another video, kind of the progress. I showed the progress, I think, in the last video up until the Amazons being half painted. Surprised they haven't been any better painted. They're in a box over there. Nippon were at least undercoated or red. Oh, and the dragons actually were kind of partially painted in different colors, red, blue, and purple. But yeah, it was a weird year for, I'm sure, everyone. I got in a couple of games with a friend who's looking to get into fantasy but is already into Age of Sigmar. Kind of got back into it after 20 years, let's say. After 15 years at the time when Age of Sigmar started. I was finally thinking of 8th edition, thankfully. And so I was trying to paint Wood Elves for him, at least so like I'd have an army I could let him play. But the Wood Elves were really only half painted. The rest of the dwarves that weren't completely painted by someone else, I've half painted. There's a lot of half completed. Even the Ogre Kingdoms are still like their bases need ice or snow. And I got some more from Green Stuff World earlier on in the year. Just haven't actually applied it yet. The Amazons are still just half done. Nippon is base coated. There's a ton more scenery. Biggest improvements would be the it's like a double paint station. I think it's literally two airbrush stations. I don't really have a paint station, but there's an airbrush with station with two fans going out the back, so I can airbrush into it inside, which is huge. And then I also just got a 3D printer, and it's printing right now. Having some success with it and a bunch of failures. And right now I just got a Wham Bam plate. It's such a weird name, but it's like a flexible plate underneath, so when you finally print all the models, you can like take off this little plate and you bend the plate and then all the models fall off quickly. And there's also a second one that you can basically, instead of having two completely different plates, you can just have one, and then you just use this little thin metal sheet, two of them, and switch between them. You can 3D print faster, and it's a whole lot easier than having to scrape the plate. Just more efficient is all you need to know if you have no interest in 3D printing. I do and I don't like it, put it that way. I mean, I got a ton of paints I've already shown, some of the Pro Acryl ones. I absolutely love this paint range. I mean, I wasn't using that many crazy paint ranges before, and there's still a lot that I don't need to, but I should look into. I was also using the black undercoat primer for Green Stuff World, which I also really like that, and the Liquitex white ink for Zenithal. Changed my airbrush flow improver to artist acrylic. I'm trying to read it and my eyes aren't that good on the other side of the room. So yeah, tons of interesting developments, but in terms of actual like finished models, there's basically nothing. There's the Keeper of Secrets that I did in May, and even then I'm not completely satisfied with her or the rest of the Slaanesh that I was painting. I also bought 2 Shadow and Paint boxes, so I got a ton more Slaanesh to paint, and just even without the 3D printer, I'm in well above my head in terms of work. And I thought with COVID, I could just keep going. I could just keep working and I'd have all the time in the world to get as much of this done as possible. But not exactly. So anyways, that's me at the moment. I'll show you a little update in person. And then this is the progress that I was talking about. So underneath this, there's a lot of dwarves. Most of these don't have bases yet, that's the other problem. I think I want them to be based kind of like this, like with just brownish mud underneath them. I can't see the model I was looking at, but I've got like 60 dwarves that are painted kind of like that underneath, or base coated underneath, and then the rest of the army's green, more like that, and I don't really like the green, I'd rather go something else, so mud kind of makes sense if it's the Badlands. that they could be fighting in. Wood elves, there's a bunch of wood elves, mostly half painted. All of these, someone else had painted them, I was editing them. These I was painting, that one had already been painted. They were half painted, well, that unit anyways. They I fairly painted, they were already painted. And then Sisters and Wild Riders are kind of half done. I kind of like where I'm going, but at the same time I don't know where I'm going, if that makes any sense. The colors of I've been really slow in progress with them just because I wasn't really sure what colors to contrast with, and I hadn't really settled on a Wood Elf theme either, especially considering 3 of the painted units I already had were 3 completely different colors. So I kind of want a mix of them, but I don't really know what kind of overall effect that's going to be. Ogre Kingdoms I kind of edited just a little bit. Goldfag's always kind of been my favorite model for the Ogre Kingdoms, so he's not exactly completely done, but I love where he's going. Also got this guy. He's an awesome Age of Sigmar model. And I think he was a lot of contrast paint. And then was it Screaming Bell metal? Yeah, metal comes across well. He's not finished either, but that's okay. Ooh, don't want to hit that wing of the hiding Terrorgeist. So I think it's a zombie dragon, but I'll use him as a Terrorgeist. This model also came with the Amazons. I love him. This dude also came with the Amazons. I think he's an awesome musician. Even though they don't have musicians, they have like bellowers, but you know, he's worth it. This dude is part of this set, which is an entire almost finished army. Technically my first Age of Sigmar army. These are the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and I bought I think it was $500 just for all of them. Yeah, literally all of that. But they weren't all painted. Archon was painted, and the 20 guys with swords and not spears, they were painted. But everything else I've worked on, they're not completed, half done, that's okay. These guys were also worked on, they're kind of half done. These are the Nippon dragons that are partially done. They were already done. What else did I work on? That was at the beginning of the year. Should still undercoat these guys. I finally got this model as an extra keeper of secrets, but I haven't painted her yet. She is pretty sweet. I did some conversion, but I think it's on the end of the whip, so you can't really see it. Just a Slaanesh symbol at the end. Yeah. Poor Amazons haven't been worked on. I think back there's more Slaanesh. 3, was it Fiends? Of the new ones, and the Hellflayer I think is that. Also have a Chariot from the Shadow and Pain box set. And then, kind of a big deal, a bunch of new buildings. That's the Special War Scryer Citadel, or laboratory thing. That was just I forget what the company is, I just know that they're bankrupt. But yes, just a bunch of cardboard, already painted, that you put together, and it's a nice windmill. And then this building and that building are 3D printed, but not by me. It was by someone else who gave me a good deal on them unpainted, so I've just airbrushed them. Mostly to completion, like the metal needs to be painted. And this I just airbrushed as well, and I need to finish that part. But the rest of the model is mostly done as well. Here's some of the 3D printing so far. It's hard to see. A lot of these are Araby guys, because of course, when you don't have enough time to finish things, you're going to make more. This guy, if you can see, has a ton of lines on him, and he's not a good print at all. I tried to scratch off as much of it as possible. So yeah, 10 of them look like that. And then I think this looks like a little better print, but maybe it's not because it's also so badly scratched. Some of them were better when I took the anti-aliasing off. Yeah, they all look. Maybe I'm just picking up the wrong models, and these ones are fine. can still see a ton of lines on this dude. I didn't print their weapons yet. I figured printing the bigger models first as a batch and then the weapons as a batch would make more sense. Oh yeah, I also got that. A bunch of trees. The Nurgle building thing. The Slaanesh Fane. Oh, and that's the part of the tower that was super glued and then fell apart. So, you know, overall, things have improved, increased, but not all that much like completed progress, which is the saddest part. It's not the end of the world. Tons more models to do, tons more work to do. Oh right, and these, but I bought them. And they didn't come with a wood, unfortunately. The 3 of them. And also 12 of the Skaven. Blanking on their names right now. But the end times dudes. 12 of them. I got 3 from a friend, and then I found a deal on 9 of them, and I just couldn't say no. I wanted 6, I think, and now I have, well, oh well. Yeah, and then the 2 Shadow and Pain boxes. So yeah, it's been productive in some ways, but just needs more work. A whole lot more work. So, I think I'm going to try and get a game in before the end of the year, just because, you know, it just really should be done. And I'll hopefully post that as well. Besides that, thanks for watching. Good luck with your own projects, and happy wargaming.